Sadnam aloha, everyone. Today, I want to talk about the new moon, the solar eclipse that's happening on February 17th. That's this Tuesday, depending on where you are in the world. And you can see here that it's activating the 30th gate and line 5, right? And then the other things of note. So we have the channel of recognition that's defined. So the 41, that's Pluto. Pluto in the 41. Of course, the sun and the moon in the 30th gate. So that creates definition between the solar plexus and the root. And then we have the 40-37 still activated. And these are the nodes. See, the north node and 37, south node and 40. That's until May. So that would be activated until May, and that's the channel of community. And the other thing to note is that Venus is conjunct the north node. So let's just talk about the energy, what you need to know for this solar eclipse. So let's look at the 30.5. So the 30 here, the 30th gate, is emotional fire. Maybe you have this natally. Maybe you have the whole channel natally. Maybe you've got the 41. Maybe you don't have the 30, or you have the 30, not the 41. You can let us know in the comments. So if you put the flavor of line 5, because that gives a little flavor to the gate, whatever line it's in. So this is the projection field. The 5th line is projection field. So this is a leadership frequency. So this has a collective impact. So remember that Saturn and Neptune are in Aries now. So you may be feeling the shift of energy. I certainly am. And Aries, if you look at Saturn, right? That Saturn is karma. It's authority. It doesn't play around, Saturn. And then you've got Aries, which is the masculine. So this is a collective energy now that's saying, it's questioning our leaders, basically, and we're seeing the unveiling, right? This is the matrix is breaking down, right, for this new age, the age of Aquarius. The sleeping phoenix energy is coming online, and now people are questioning, right? Like, what's the integrity of these people that were the masculine leaders, right, that are so out of integrity? So that's up for question, right, which is very, very healthy for you to be doing right now. Is questioning all outer authority, which we'll go into in this video. It's about you reclaiming your inner authority now. Okay, so it's emotional desire. The 30th is emotional desire. So this is visible desire, because it's a 5th line. It's visible desire. So no, this isn't something you keep in private. Oh, I have this secret desire. No, this new moon, right, wants it to be made visible, wants it to manifest into form. So the gift frequency of the 30 is lightness. It's lightness. And the city is rapture. So just as a side note, the 30th gate will eventually be mutated out of humanity. This desire, because desire is what drives us to have human experiences. But we're going to talk about how that's correct for you, right? Not letting the ego hijack your desire. So lightness, the gift of lightness, means desire without heaviness, without grasping, desire without drama, right? One of the shadow expressions of the 30th is seriousness. So this is basically saying, I know what I want to experience. I know what I want to experience this year. And rapture is emotional aliveness. Emotional aliveness. So the eclipse isn't asking, what are you missing? It's asking, what are you ready to feel fully? What are you ready to feel fully? And then you've got the Venus conjunct the North Node, like exact, look, 37.4, 37.4. This is emotional agreements. It's love, it's loyalty, it's belonging, it's shared values. And with Venus on the North Node, the future is all about your relationships, right? It's all about your relationships now, being in the right relationships. It's not about romance, right? It's about contracts, contract coded here. So this is really about who you align with now, who you build with, and what agreements are you choosing moving forward, right? So this eclipse just isn't about personal desire. It's about who can hold that desire with you. Who has the same desire as you? Who can hold this desire with you? And then for some added fun, right? Some added fun and surprise is you can't call it boring. The world is not boring right now. We may miss that boringness, but it's certainly not boring. So here you have the new moon in the 30th, and then it's squaring Uranus, the 8 in the 8th gate right now. So gate 8 says, I have something unique to contribute to the world, right? And it's coming from me. It's coming from my essence. And Uranus electrifies that. So this square creates a tension between your desire and your authentic expression. So a tension between your desire and your authentic expression. So if your desire is not aligned with your contribution, your authenticity, your authentic contribution, your authentic expression, it will disrupt your current identity. So we're all going through some kind of identity shift because we're letting go of this survival identity that we've taken on in the cross of planning so that we could survive this crazy world. And now everything's being shifted, changed and shifted. So this is destabilizing square, but in a good way. This square is really, really in a good way. So it forces the question, is this desire that I'm feeling that won't go away? If it's a true desire, it won't go away. Is it truly mine or is it inherited? Is this a desire that's coming from my father? Is this a desire that's coming from my mother? Maybe it's coming from my great grandparents. This is you discerning, is this a true desire that's coming from my authentic self, or have I inherited it from my ancestry? And then you've got Neptune and Saturn, and they're stars of the show, right? These two are stars of the show. And this is the gate 25, which I've talked about in previous videos, right? This is innocence, our innocence, and that's the purity of our hearts, the purity of the self. This is what we're reclaiming. This has been hijacked from us as a humanity, and now we're being pressured, right? Are we being pressured right now? And we're playing that out with children, right? With the children on the planet. If we can't protect our own offspring, right? What kind of humanity are we? What kind of species are we? That's like the number one baseline. You protect your offspring, right? So this is what we're reclaiming our innocence. We're fighting for our innocence. This is Neptune and Aries. This is the spiritual warrior. And it starts with you as the individual. Are you willing? Are you capable to try to protect your own innocence? Right? Your own innocence. And it's not naivete. Go back to my other video. I go more into depth about what innocence truly is. So this is the purity of your heart. It's leading by spirit, not leading by fear. And it's like, okay, I need a bunch of papers in my bank account. I need a bunch of digital numbers in my bank account. And then I'm making my choices from that, right? Or am I making choices from my spirit? Spirit-led action. So Neptune dissolves illusion. Neptune's dissolving all the illusion, and then Saturn is building the structure, right? And that's your inner masculine, and I'll go into that in this video. So in Aries, right, because it's Aries, your action has to be clean. That means no ulterior motives, no agendas. So you can't initiate from ego fantasy anymore. It won't happen. It won't hold. It won't hold. The fire's rising, but only what is spiritually aligned survives. So gate 25 strips it back and says, is your desire innocent? Is your desire pure? And that's not about the mind and what things look like. Is that flame that's being lit inside you right now? Is it pure? Is it coming from a pure place? So let's go into examples, because I like to use examples. So the ego, right? So the pure desire is just there, like look at it as a flame, but the ego comes in and hijacks it and tries to create a form or manipulate it to its own ends, right? And the ego always wants to inflate itself. This is your not self, right? Your ego. So let's use some the usual suspects here. Fame, right? I want to be famous. I want to be recognized. I want applause. And on the surface, that's the 30th gate frequency desire. It's intense, right? It's intense. It's emotionally charged. It's meaningful. But the real question, right, with the 25 is, where is this coming from? Where is it coming from? This desire to be famous. Where is it coming from? Well, the root could be, I was unseen as a child. I didn't receive love. I want to finally feel validated. I want that need that I didn't get as a child. Then the desire is not really about contribution, is it? Contributing to the whole. It's about repair. That desire is really about repair. It doesn't make it evil or bad, or right? It makes it wound it. It's just wound it and distort it, right? So this is a desire that's trying to compensate for something that you didn't receive. And I heard a great story about from Barbara Streisand, right? Huge, right? People love her, right? They love her. It's not my cup of tea, but others really, really love her as a great singer and actress, and right? She gets, anyway, her mother, she performed at a concert, and her mother was in the front row. And she said there was like standing ovation, Barbara said. People loved it, blah, blah, blah. And then she said to her mother, what did you think? And she said, oh, well, it was okay. You could have done this better. Right? And she said it just completely destroyed her experience, because what was driving that fame? Maybe it was her mother's approval, right? Maybe it's your father's approval. Like, really look at where is this desire coming from, right? Okay. But the wound doesn't close. And you hear this with celebrities who actually achieve fame. It's never ending, because they want it from that person that will never give it to them, right? Well, my parents didn't love me, but the whole world loves me. No, it's not enough. Okay. So, that external recognition can heal the emotional neglect that you felt as a child. So let's just juxtapose it with innocent desire. So that's egoic desire. So what's the innocent desire? I want to express what's inside me. I feel called to speak. I have something real to contribute to the world. Well, that's completely different, isn't it? Recognition may still come from others. Visibility may still happen, but the fuel isn't like, love me, love me. The fuel is, this must be shared. So the gate 25 is purity. Purity meets desire, right? With the 30 and the 25 here. So the desire is not trying to fix the past. It's responding to the present moment. Present moment, that's where your power is right now, the present moment. And then you know your actions are clean. You know that your flame is pure. Okay, so desire is surfacing. The illusions are dissolving and future contracts are forming. And the question is, can you carry what you're asking for? Can you carry what you're asking for? And this is a dilemma for my fractal. Can you carry that power? Can you carry that power consciously? Can you hold that power consciously without distortion, without collapsing, without giving it away? Can you carry your power? This is what you're learning right now in 2026. Okay, so let's go deeper into the inner masculine. The inner masculine. So remember that you have both energies, right? You've got your feminine energy and then you've got your masculine energy. It doesn't matter what form your body takes. You have both energies. And the horse was really coming in strong. And then I remembered, oh yeah, it's the Chinese New Year is on the 17th as well, of course, right? And it's the fire horse. So we're moving out of the snake, which is all about shedding and letting go, and then we're moving into the horse. So I didn't realize that until later, but of course it's all one, right? We're all, that's with truth. With truth, no matter what angle you take with truth, there's different languages, different systems, but they're saying the same thing. So why do you need inner masculine right now, your inner masculine? It's because the era has changed. Big time, right? Neptune has been in Pisces, the watery sign of Pisces, the ocean, for the last 14 years. This was about processing your emotions. It was about healing, healing and getting into healing loops. It was about dissolving identity. It was about excavating all your traumas and all your patterns. It was about forgiveness. It was about letting go. So these last 7 or 14 years have really made us more sensitive. It's really brought up our sensitivity. And now the outer planets, Neptune's in Aries, fire. Saturn is in Aries, fire. Uranus this year will be coming into Gemini, air. Pluto's already in Aquarius, which is air. And then Jupiter's moving into Leo this year, which is fire. Lots of fire and air. So this isn't about reflection anymore. It's not about contemplation. It's not about like going deep within, right? And this letting go of energy. This is like fire energy, fire and air. This is the bonfire, the wildfire. So fire doesn't ask you, how do you feel? That's Pisces. Fire asks you, what will you do? What will you do now with what you know? So the new moon, right? If we go back here, right, in the 30th gate and the 41, talk about that channel as it relates to the inner masculine. Desire, the emotional engine is lit. That's the 30th gate. Desire is rising, but desire without structure, without structure, it turns into fantasy, it turns into overgiving, it turns into burnout, it turns into emotional addiction, like you're emotionally drunk, looking for the next feeling, right? The next emotion, addicted to the feeling of something, not what's actually happening in reality, and repeating karmic contracts too. So the nodes in the 3740, remember 3740, the nodes there, this is tribal agreements. So the old cross of planning, conditioning, brainwashing is stay loyal, stay responsible, don't disrupt the system. Don't disrupt the system. So inner masculine distortion is when your inner masculine energy is distorted. You can be over responsible, right? You feel responsible for everybody. You can be like driven by guilt, right? By taking actions out of guilt. That's your motivation. Collapsing your boundaries, right? Avoiding any confrontation. That's a distorted inner masculine. And that can't survive this year, right? So Saturn and Neptune in 0 degrees Aries, and this is happening 3 days later after the solar eclipse, right, on the 20th. This is self-initiation. So Neptune dissolves the illusion, and then Saturn structures reality. So the questions here, right, up on the table, are you spiritually passive? Where are you spiritually passive? Where are you waiting? Where are you waiting? Where are you outsourcing your own authority? You've done the healing. You have the insights. You know your intuition has been communicating to you. But with insight, yeah, I know, but there's no action. That creates cold depression. And this is the ancients have taught us this. It's called we're in the gray period. We're in the gray period right now when we go through huge shifts, right? In terms of evolution, there's something called the gray period, and this is like overall we haven't shifted our authority, our external authority back to internal authority, from ego mind into soul. Then there can be something called cold depression, and this is like you're numb. You feel completely numb, right? So this is what happens when you don't take action on what you know. Energy stagnates. So the fire says move. The fire says move now. So what happens without inner masculine repair? What happens? Because there's two kinds of women on my fractal that I've seen. This is the over masculine women. I don't think that, I'm not saying that they look masculine, but they're over identified with their masculine energy. These are the movers and shakers. Like they're completely overqualified for everything. Like they're these Renaissance women. They can do all these things. CEOs, entrepreneurs, all of that. Right? But their feminine is weak. Right? It's out of balance. So this is for the over masculine woman. She keeps overworking. She keeps carrying weak men. Right? She feels responsible for everybody in her family. She even feels responsible for her man. He's a bit of a banana spine because that's the mirror. Right? He's reflecting back to you that your masculine is weak. Right? It looks like on the external, like, no, I've got all these titles and look at my accomplishments and this and that. No, that's a weak masculine. All right. So this keeps you running survival mode authorities. Like I'm responsible for everybody, right? If I drop the ball, everybody collapses. I'm over functioning. I'm headed for burnout. And that's what happens to these women. They burn out. And then you've got the underdeveloped masculine woman, right? Her masculine energy is underdeveloped. Well, she's intuitive, right? She's intuitive, but she's inactive. She doesn't take action on her intuition. She avoids conflict, and she collapses under any pressure. She collapses. Her body will collapse. She collapses under any pressure. And she attracts a dominant mirror. So the other one's the weak masculine, right? And the dominant mirror, he's a weak masculine too. This is the bully, right? This is the bully. This is my way or the highway. This is completely dismissing your intuition and your feminine knowing. This is like talking over you. His voice matters more than yours. He's a mirror of your weak masculine too. Right? So desire, this 30th energy that the new moon is activating, can't be it can't be held in either one, right? It either implodes or it explodes, right? So fire demands a rider, right? This fire year demands a rider. So desire is the horse, right? The horse. And the reins are the inner masculine, and the authority is you, the rider. So it's bringing you back to your own inner authority. So the water years with Neptune in Pisces, Saturn in Pisces, the horse just roamed around. It didn't have a rider. It didn't have the reins, right? The fire year now requires direction. It requires direction on your part. So if you don't build this internal structure this year in 2026, then 2027 is going to feel very overwhelming if you don't do this work this year, right? Of building your inner masculine. So this is this is part of you building your phoenix, right? The phoenix cycle sovereign. Remember that the lesson here to come into the 2027, because the energy is going to significantly change, right? Radically change, drastically change from now until 2027. It's about you being self-sovereign. It's about you being your own inner authority, right? So this is definitely a must, the inner masculine here. So this is what does this mean, right? Well, the inner masculine integration means you're making decisions without apology. You're making decisions without defensiveness. You're setting boundaries without guilt. You're earning money for yourself without shame or guilt. Inner masculine is like, I can take care of myself in the world financially and materially. You're taking action without waiting and procrastinating for emotional certainty or validation from the external that this is a good move for you to make. You're not waiting for that anymore. You're taking action. You're speaking truth. You're speaking your truth without over-explaining or needing that person to understand you. So the men that you attract, remember, are mirrors of that internal structure. So who are the men in your life? Right now, they're going to mirror back to you where you are in terms of your masculine energy. So you want to heal the inner masculine, and then the outer reflection will change. Right? Not magically, but just as mechanics, right? It's just spiritual law. Like attracts light. So when you heal this inner masculine energy, then you will attract the correct masculine, the divine masculine, who he's also in balance with his inner masculine and his inner feminine. So water healed you for the last 14 years, and now fire is testing you. So this year's the bridge, and the bridge requires structure, and that means inner masculine. Okay, so let's look at what a healthy masculine is, and then we'll go back to the channel, right? So masculine energy is structure and direction and containment of force. So it's not dominance. The healthy masculine isn't dominance. It's not aggression. It's not emotional suppression. It's about form. It's about form. So if you look at it, the feminine, like it's the river, the current, then the masculine is the riverbank, that containment, right? The containment. If the feminine is fire in the home, then the masculine is the hearth, containment. If the feminine is desire, pure desire, then the masculine is the trajectory. It's the direction, right? Knows where it's going, knows where it's going. So healthy masculine knows where it's going, not obsessively, not in a rigid way, but it can say, this is the path. This is the path. Unhealthy masculine avoids making decisions, delays, procrastinates, seeks consensus, right? I'm going to go out and I'm going to phone all my friends. What should I do? What should I do? What I should do? Or outsourcing it to the weak masculine in your life, all to avoid responsibility. All to avoid responsibility. And blames others when the direction fails. Okay, so healthy masculine is choosing 100% in. My full self is in. I'm choosing. I'm adjusting as things come up. I'm flexible. And I move. And I move. Containment. Containment here. So the masculine holds energy without collapsing. Without collapsing. And what do we mean by collapsing? Not falling into their ego. Right? That's what it means to not collapse. So if emotion rises, which it will, emotions rise. This healthy masculine doesn't go into panic. It doesn't go into shutdown. It doesn't lash out. It doesn't disassociate, right? It doesn't just check out. It stays. It stays with it, right? It holds the discomfort without losing its center. So what is this containment? Well, that's your nervous system, right? It's your nervous system stability. Healthy masculine, boundary setting. Healthy masculine, boundary setting. Right? Boundary isn't cruel. Setting boundaries is not cruel and mean. It's clarity. The healthy masculine can say no. The healthy masculine can say enough. The healthy masculine can say this isn't aligned. The healthy masculine can say this works or it doesn't work without going into a guilt spiral, right? Without apologizing. Without apology, setting boundaries without apology or defensiveness. So the unhealthy masculine can either bulldoze over you, right, or others. Bulldoze this. We're talking about the energy. Can bulldoze or avoids confrontation entirely. Right? Doesn't feel strong enough to confront. So healthy masculine holds the line calmly. This is the clarity. Provision, right? So provision is not just about money. It's not just about money. It's about creating conditions for growth. So this is providing stability for yourself, providing safety, providing direction, providing leadership. Provision is energetic reliability. You rely on your energy. You provide, you create the conditions for growth. So if someone can't rely on you, the masculine function is weak. If you're a flake, right? You're in and out. Oh, I was really into this for, a couple weeks, but I'm not really into it now. I saw some shiny thing down the road, some other workshop, some other training to take, right? Or you flake out on people, then this is the weak masculine, right? So if someone can't rely on you, if you give your word means nothing. Right? This is your power with the healthy masculine is you keep your word and your promises. Right? When you don't do that and people can't rely on you, this means your masculine is really, really weak. Responsibility here. Healthy masculine owns their impact. And we can see this out in the world. People want to kick the can down the road. Oh, it's so-and-so's fault. It's their fault, blaming, not taking responsibility. That's an unhealthy masculine. So taking accountability, so a healthy masculine doesn't deflect. It doesn't collapse into shame. Oh, I'm a horrible person, blah, blah, blah. And you're in the fetal position. You don't over-explain. You say, I chose that. I take accountability for the choices that I made. They admit when they made a mistake, right? They admit when they're wrong. They admit when they've harmed others, and they take responsibility, right, for what they've done, for their actions. In responsibility is not about going into self-hatred. The healthy masculine doesn't go into self-hatred and self-blame. It takes accountability. We need that way more in the world right now, right? So that's the healthy masculine. Stillness, decisive stillness. And this is the healthy masculine, is the calm in the chaos. Calm in the chaos. So it doesn't need emotional validation to act. It doesn't need certainty to move. It can act in uncertainty. Admit the chaos, the craziness, can still take action. That's the healthy masculine. And this is critical for this fire year, is to remain calm in the chaos. Right? So you're either over masculine. So maybe meditate on this right now. You'll know if you're hyper responsible, right? If you're burned out, or you're underdeveloped masculine. You're intuitive, but you're passive. You don't take action. You don't have the strength to stand up for yourself, right? So the healthy masculine is neither one of those, right? They're just different expressions of the wounded masculine within you. So the healthy masculine is a soft spine, right? It's a steady core. You're anchored in yourself. And then what does this do? It allows your feminine to relax, right? Your nervous system starts to steady, right? And then this cold depression decreases, like that numbness that people feel, like, oh, nothing matters, who cares, right? This is too big, I'm too little, I have no power. Right? That's cold depression. That will decrease because action replaces stagnation and starts moving your energy, right? This is a year where your vitality comes back, your passion comes back, right? So and then the contracts, the 3740, they become conscious instead of guilt-based, or I should do this. No, they become conscious, your contracts, and who you're building with. So unhealthy masculine is whipping the horse. That's the unhealthy masculine, or dropping the reins, right? I'm just dropping the reins. I'm abdicating my power, or I'm whipping that horse. I'm forcing it. The healthy masculine guides with subtle pressure. With subtle pressure. It doesn't fight the horse, and it doesn't fear its power. So you're not fearing your power. We're talking about power this year. So you know it's integrated when you don't panic. When desire starts to arise, you don't panic. You don't abandon yourself when someone disapproves of you or judges you. You don't abandon yourself like that. Like, oh, I must be wrong because they're having a reaction to my desire. You don't shrink your voice to maintain harmony. You don't overwork to prove your worth. And you don't fantasize. You don't stay in fantasy, that looping of fantasy. That's the 41st gate, right? You act. You take action. So it's a quiet confidence. It's a quiet confidence, the healthy inner masculine. And it doesn't do things to prove that you don't do things to prove that you're powerful. You just radiate your power. You just radiate. You don't need to prove it. So Saturn in Aries, right? Saturn moved into Aries for the next 2.5 years. And this will expose any indecision you have, where you're like the banana spine back and forth, where you're avoiding taking action, where you take a passive spiritual approach, where you have guilt-based loyalty. That's the shadow of the 3740. Well, I'm a wife, so I should stay. I'm a daughter. I should do this. Saturn and Aries will be like, no, that's guilt-based. It's not authentic. It's not real. And where you're shut down emotionally, where you're numb, right? And Neptune's going to dissolve the fantasy. And if the inner masculine is weak, the fire becomes anxiety. If your inner masculine is weak, it will become anxiety. Doesn't go away, right? This energy. So that when the inner masculine is strong, your fire becomes leadership. You become the leader of your own life. You're not outsourcing that, right? Let me just have some water. Okay, and then we'll go back to the channel, right? So let's talk about this channel, this 4130. So remember, Pluto is activating the 41, and then the moon and the sun are in the 30. Okay. So it's the channel of recognition, it's called. So maybe you have it natally. Let us know. So the 41 is about its contraction, its fantasy, it's the seed. It's the seed of experience. And this is the root pressure, right? Because it's coming off the root here, the root, and then meeting the solar plexus. It's the root pressure to begin a feeling cycle. It's about your feelings. And the gate 30 is the desire. It's the clinging fire. It's the emotional intensity. Right? So the pure desire is coming from your soul. Your soul wants to experience something. It's communicating. The soul doesn't communicate with words. Right? It communicates through feeling tone. Right? And this would come with desire because we're learning about the solar plexus. This is our new awareness system. So your soul is communicating through your feelings. So when they connect, the 30 and the 41 connect, it creates a defined emotional wave that longs for experience. It longs for experience. So it's the pressure to feel something that's real. I want to feel something that's real, not artificial dopamine hits that I'm getting off social media or through my addictions. So it's the ache that says, I must live this. I must live this. So 41 is the spark and 30 is the fire. And together they create this momentum. So this is the wild horse, right? Pawing on the ground. Your body's charged. Your emotional field is lit up. So the 4130 isn't about, it's called the channel of recognition, but it's not the recognition from others. It's recognizing what I'm here to experience in this lifetime. This is you. This is what I'm here to experience in this lifetime. So you don't desire lightly. This isn't a light desire like, oh, I really want that piece of cake. Right? And then that's like light, desire light. This is like soul deep desire. This is like obsessive. It's transformational. It's right. This is the soul desiring some experience that it knows it's going to be transformational. It knows that it's going to evolve through this experience. So let's look at just some practical examples so that you can really feel this in your body. So we'll start off with the relationship pattern. So this is like meeting a man, right? Meeting a partner, meeting a person. And it's not like, oh, he's handsome, right? No, it's more like this is going to change my life. It's going to turn my life upside down. It's going to dissolve my false self, right? That's the 4130. It's not light. So that's the 41's the seed of the fantasy. The 30 is the emotional fire that's attaching to it. So recognition can feel just a magnetic pull towards that person. It's like emotional. It's inevitable, right? This is like, I've known you before. I recognize you from past lives. This is the karmic movie that's starting, right? So let's look at it when the ego takes over, right? So this is, you start chasing it. You start chasing it. You start strategizing it. You start over-investing in it. You ignore all the red flags that are coming up, right? Your boundaries are being overstepped. You're being ignored. You're being neglected, but you force that storyline. So the integrated masculine, when the integrated masculine is on board, then you feel the desire, right? You don't deny it and you hold it. You hold that desire within you so you're experiencing it. You're experiencing it unfolding without gripping it. And that's recognition without self-destruction. Do you see the difference? You're not letting the ego take over. You're just letting it unfold naturally. You're letting that seed, right? That seed grow on its own organically. You're not letting the mind and the ego get in there. Let's go to life calling, right? Maybe you suddenly realize, I can't live this way anymore. I can't live this way anymore. I can't be in this job. I can't be in this marriage. I can't be in this identity. I can't be in this friend group, these false friends. Right? I can't even be maybe on this spiritual path that I've been on, right? I can't be on this anymore. And so there's a moment that you recognize that this chapter is done like dinner. This chapter is done. And that's the 4130 as well. So this is the desire to experience something else that ignites you, that brings that passion back in you, right? That's the desire. So the unintegrated masculine, what does the unintegrated masculine? Well, burn it all down, right? Bring out the hatchet, burn it out impulsively, like I'm quitting my job, I'm done with this, blah, blah, blah. Enraged, like blaming the circumstances, exploding, self-sabotaging, right? Strategic exit, that's the integrated masculine. Well, I start creating a structure. I strategically exit because I'm taking care of myself, right? A strategic exit. There's a grounded transition, right? This is not the yelling and screaming at the partner, I'm done with you, right? I can't live like this anymore. This is like the grounded transition is like, this isn't working for me anymore, right? It's grounded, it's mature. And this is what Saturn is asking for us, is to be mature. There's a clear plan. There's a clear plan. There's a containment of the emotional fire, right? So it's the same recognition, but it's a different outcome. And then, and it's also what's coming to me right now is like the recognizing that you do have power. The victim will never tell you that you have power. The victim ego, that you have to like scream and yell to set a boundary, right? This energy is mature. You don't need to scream and yell. You just need to be in your power, and that's aligned with your higher self. So let's do the creative urge, artistic expression. So you feel I have something in me that must be expressed. It has to be expressed. So this could be art, it could be teaching, it could be even your sexuality, your truth, your spiritual authority. That's the inner burn of the 30th gate. And the fantasy of the life where you express it is the 41. So the unintegrated masculine, you talk about it over and over and over. You talk to everybody about it. You talk. You buy the program. You buy the canvas. You buy the musical equipment, right? You post about it, but you never build structure. You never build any kind of structure. You're spinning your wheels. While what does the integrated masculine do? Well, they create a calendar. They create a plan. They create boundaries, and then they execute. They actually do it, right? That's the healthy masculine. So, so your shadow, right? So maybe you are numb. If you're numb, then there's something there. If you're on my fractal and you're numb and you're not feeling, right? You got to check your pulse to make sure that you're alive. Because if you're on my fractal, you already feel deeply. You already feel things deeply. And you're not shallow, right? So it's not about lack of desire for you, right? Yeah, your shadow is obsession, it's emotional extremism, it's all or nothing collapse, and it's self-destructive. It can be self-destructive. So the 4130 will amplify that all of this new moon, because Pluto is in your 41, right? For all of us. So the fantasies aren't small, they're destiny. Whatever your fantasies are right now, they're about your destiny. They're not small. But without the inner masculine integration, the destiny scale desire becomes destiny chaos, right? So this is the last year before 2027, and this year is asking you, what life are you choosing to enter? What life are you choosing to enter this year? And 41 is the seed, and 30 is the emotional commitment to the experience, which means you go through the ups and downs of the emotional wave, right? And that's like the ocean. That's the ocean. But the seed without structure, without you creating a structure, this is when it rots. The structure will start to rot. Without structure, the seed will rot. So the fire is being handed to you. Saturn, Neptune, and Aries. The fire is yours. It's being handed to you. And the question is, can you hold it? Can you hold that power without letting allowing that ego to hijack it? So when you feel the fire, maybe you're feeling it right now, you're meant to experience something. Your soul wants you to experience something. You've come down to planet Earth to have a human experience, right? So this is your soul communicating to you. What does it want you to experience? Go to the desire that just will not go away, and make sure that it's pure. 25th gate, that there's no ego thing trying to compensate, right? That it's pure, whatever it is. So the only question is whether you ride the desire, you get on that horse, or the desire rides you and overrides you, and that's chaos, right? Okay. So with that said, I wanted to announce my next retreat. So the next retreat, this is the theme. It's you coming into your throne. Come into your throne and claim your throne, claim your crown. So this is all about awakening your inner authority, and this has nothing to do with human design. I'm emotional authority. This is your inner authority at the soul level, and this is igniting the inner masculine, right, within you. So that's March 20th to the 22nd. I'll have more information on my website, but I just wanted to get that out. So just put that on your in your calendar, and then just sit with it, right? Sit with it, because I just planted the seed, and now it will start to blossom with the fire, right? Okay, so let's talk about what to do this week, right? What can you do this week? Just one action item, not to overwhelm you. What action item can you do? Like, identify one desire that won't die. What's that one desire? It's like, oh, I wish I could get rid of this desire. It's been with me like since I can remember. You know who relates to this? Are the 6-line profiles. If you're a 6-line profile, you definitely relate to this, because you have a seed within you, right? And all of your life has been about nurturing this seed. So you can help others with this, the 6-line profiles. So this is the desire, right? That clings, the clinging desire that won't go away, because it's coming from the soul. It's not coming from the ego. And maybe you've tried to achieve it in ego ways, and it's just blown up in your face, right? You haven't let it be pure. And then take one grounded action towards it. One grounded action towards it this week. No drama, no fantasy, just movement, right? Just movement. Just take a movement, take a baby step. Okay, so let's go into the tarot reading for my fractal. And let's go over these cards, which are really interesting. So this is for the new moon, activating the 30th gate. So if you're just jumping on for the tarot with the timestamp, be sure to watch the beginning of the video. There's lots of good information, and this will help create a clearer picture, a fuller picture of what this energy is about. So what's the fire? What's the fire? This is the King of Wands and the Queen of Cups. So the fractal's desire right now is about integration. And this is what these cards are saying that. So the King of Wands is vision, it's leadership, it's direction. It completely embodies this 30th gate in the healthy masculine, the inner masculine. And then the Queen of Cups wants emotional depth, wants intuition, wants sensitivity. So this says you don't want more spirituality. You don't want more processing and healing processing. You want emotional depth. You want decisive fire. And you want all of this in one body in your vehicle. So this is literally the inner masculine and the inner feminine right? Coming into union. So it's not about attracting a man. This is about you becoming internally integrated. So the King of Wands says, I see where I'm going. And the Queen of Cups says, I feel what is true. What's truth? And together, this is your inner authority. So this is perfect. I couldn't have strategically chosen better cards here. And so let's look at the distortion. The distortion is the Death reversed in the Two of Swords. In the Two of Swords here. So this is the block. So Death reversed is you're refusing to let something end. Something is ending and you're refusing to let it end. And the Two of Swords is emotional avoidance and it's denial, right? Because you often the Two of Swords, like in the traditional Rider-Waite deck, has the blindfold on. This is like purposefully avoiding, denying. So you know that something's over and you know a version of yourself is done, right? Is done, is complete, but you're not allowing that to end. You know the pattern is dead. You know the pattern is dead, but you won't look at it directly. Why? Because letting it die means losing an identity, whatever that identity is. Losing a sense of belonging to a group, right? Belonging to a group. Losing the old mirror. The old mirror. So this is, if we go to the ego strategy card, my ego deck, the You Must Agree With Me, which is really about mirrors, right? About mirrors. So just with me personally, Neptune has been in my 8th house for 14 years in watery. And what does this mean? I didn't have a mirror. My mirror got completely dissolved. So I didn't have a clear reflection of myself back from the external world. This is one of the lessons that I've been in the last 14 years, is living without a mirror. And my Neptune, my natal Neptune, squares my ascendant. So people can't see me clearly anyway, but this got amplified in the last 14 years, right? So what happens is the projection of shadow onto me. I bring up people's shadows, right? So the projection of demon shadow onto me. And then it was like there was never a clear reflection back. There wasn't a clear reflection back. So I had to learn to live without a mirror, a clear mirror. And this means that I had to go inside and become my own mirror, right? So this particular card here is Death Reverse, Two of Swords, and Mirror Hunger. This is hungry for a mirror. So this is like I can't allow this version of myself to die if no one else validates the new one. No one validates the new one. So you're afraid to transition without external validation, external confirmation. So this is you stall, right? You stall, you wait for approval, you look for someone to say, yeah, you're right, you're evolving. This is who you are, right? The mirror is like, I'm going to tell you who you are. But gate 25, innocence, and Saturn in Aries, right? Saturn and Neptune, both in the gate of innocence, says no witness is required. You move because it's true. You're not moving because the reflection is telling you to. You're moving because it's true. There's a truth inside you. The fire is lit inside you. And not because people are applauding you, right? It's because this is your depth is often misunderstood. It's often been misunderstood since childhood, right? So you crave the mirror. You can crave the mirror that says, oh, I see how intense you are. I see how deep you are. And this eclipse is saying, what if no one ever mirrors you? will you still step forward? I had to learn this lesson. Nobody was mirroring me. I was completely oriented towards my soul, and it was that desire that was guiding me, right? That soul desire that was guiding me, and I stepped forward without any validation from anyone. I had to believe in myself. I didn't have anyone, right? Neptune in the 8th house, no support, no physical support, emotional support, mental support. That belief had to come within me, that I believe in myself. I believe in my higher self, and I'm stepping forward, right? So my sense is that you're learning this lesson. So it's like the boat, it's like being with Neptune in Pisces in the 8th house. It's like being in the boat with no rudder, no sail, no motor, and just surrounded by fog, complete fog, right? And so now that's Neptune's moved into my 9th house. It's like, I finally got to land, right? I've had to go through these ups and downs of stormy waters, of like, oh, the calm before the storm, what's coming next, and completely orienting myself, right? Connecting with my higher self, right, with my soul through this. And now I'm on the land, right, with Neptune and Saturn in the 9th house, and now I'm building, right? I'm building the lighthouse. The lighthouse is already partially built, but this is what I'm doing for the next 14 years, is building this lighthouse. So a lot of you, and maybe you can relate to that now, is you're in the boat. You're in that boat, and there's a lot of unknowns, and the old system is collapsing, and there's nothing to hold on to. There's no reflection. The mirror's not going to reflect back your true self anymore, because your job now is to be your own reflection, is to believe in yourself, right? So my job with you as your guide, if you're you subscribe to my channel, is to take those gems that I've learned in the last 14 years. I have a lot of gems, and then I'll be sharing that with you. So you may relate to that. A lot of people are going to be thrown in that boat now in the rocky seas. So this is like, will you step forward? Will you step forward? And I can tell you that you can do it. Just believe in yourself, and trust in your soul, right? So let's go to the move for you to make. And this is the 2 of Cups and the 4 of Wands. So the 2 of Cups is sacred union. It's mirrored alignment. And the 4 of Wands is stability, celebration, foundation. So this isn't about go find a partner. This is about create internal union for yourself here. So when the King of Wands and the Queen of Cups integrate, you got the 2 of Cups internally, and then you stop needing external validation. And then you get this stability, the 4 of Wands stability, and this is internal stability. That has to come first, the internal stability, and then life has no other choice than to mirror back that internal stability to you. But if you're focused on the external, trying to find that on the external, it's not going to work. It's not going to work anymore. The old ways of doing things will not work anymore. So this is sovereign relationship energy, and this is when you manifest your correct relationship. Your divine counterpart is when you come into this first, right? With this union, because then the reflection will be clear, right? You won't need to attract a weak masculine to show you that your masculine is a weak. You won't need that anymore. You're sovereign and whole unto yourself, and your divine counterpart is the same. So yes, it can manifest as a partnership, a true partnership, and you've got Venus conjunct North Node, so It's got relationship energy too, this new moon, but correct relationship energy. So this is you desire integration. It's saying that you desire this integration, but you're avoiding a death and you're waiting for a mirror to validate you. So the move is to stop asking for the mirror, stop asking for some kind of validation or sign that it's okay for you to move forward. You want to just witness yourself, believe in yourself. So the eclipse isn't asking you to be seen, it's asking you to stand in your truth, even if no one around you agrees. Let's just stand as one. Stand as one in your authenticity, right? And that takes the inner masculine energy to give you that strength to stand in your truth, right? Okay, so that's great. So let's go to the twin flames. The twin flame reading. And this is for the new moon and people that have just like jumped to the twin flame and missed the other part of the video. It would really behoove you to listen to the first part of the video too. And then you'll have a deeper experience of these cards. So remember that the 30 and the 41 is the channel of recognition. So you're recognizing a desire. So what's the recognition? On the twin flame connection, it's actually 3 cards. So the Knight of Swords, the Lovers, and the Ace of Cups reversed. So this is, you can't deny, this is undeniable that this connection, your twin flame connection, is real. So the Lovers is right there, right? The Lovers card. So this is divinely orchestrated. The divine has brought you two together. Which, like, the opposite is the Devil card, and this, like, karma has brought you together. No, the divine's brought you together with the Lovers. So the bond is real. The recognition is mutual. Both of you recognize this now, even if it's been never spoken about. Both of you recognize it's real because it's at the soul level, right? So this isn't fantasy. It's not fantasy. But the Knight of Swords is the mental urgency. This is the fast thoughts, right? The fast thoughts. It's the spinning of the stories. It's over-analysis, right? It's up and down. The Knight of Swords in and out, right? With the mind. And then the Ace of Cups reversed is the heart's not flowing. So what's being recognized is that the connection exists. The connection is real. It's not fantasy, but the heart's not open. It's not open in a safe, flowing way. It's intellectualized. You're intellectualizing this connection, and it's rushed, and it's contained, but not in a healthy way. So there's truth here. The truth of your connection is here, but the emotional channel is blocked. You're not feeling the emotions. You're not feeling, there's no flow there, right? So then position 2 is the karmic loop, and this is the Star reversed and the Ace of Swords. So this is loss of faith. It's loss of faith. It's disillusionment. It's doubt that this isn't real. It's not real. Doubt in the divine timing of things. Ace of Swords reversed is there's no clear truth spoken. There's miscommunication. There's truth is withheld. Ace of Swords reversed. And this is the loop. It's the hope. It's the doubt. It's the overthinking. It's the silence. It's the disconnection. Right? It's like repeating these loops. So it's not that the connection isn't real. These cards say, yes, the connection is real. It's that clarity hasn't been embodied, right? It's like there hasn't been this commitment of like 100% this is real, right? Instead of going the ups and downs of the ego and the mind. So when clarity isn't embodied, when you don't claim this, that this connection is real, this twin flame connection is real, then, right? Then the ego comes in to try to fill in the gap. And the sovereign move, look at that, the King of Wands again, that was in the fractal read. So the move is leadership. This is not chasing, it's not collapsing, it's not waiting, it's not over-processing. The King of Wands is I know who I am, and I know what I want, and I move with confidence. This is your fire, right? Your pure fire. This is your inner masculine integration. This is your inner masculine integration applied to your twin flame connection. So the move here is like, oh, I've got to convince them. I've got to decode the signs. I have to prove that this is destiny. I have to prove that this is soul, a soul connection. The move is to stand in your own authority and radiate and direct your life. Right? The fire year is about your life. That's what life supports, is your life supports life. So it's like your fire is real, it's alive, and life will support that. So if the connection is real, then it will align with that. Your connection will align with you and your self-sovereignty. If it doesn't, it falls away. It will just fall away. So if we look at the ego strategy cards, you've got the shut it down and I don't understand. So this is ego defense. This is the ego stepping in, right? When emotions get too intense. Shut it down, go cold, judge, intellectualize the connection. And then I don't understand this. It doesn't make sense. Maybe, right? It doesn't make sense at all. Am I in some kind of fantasy? Maybe it's not real. And the mind can't compute the 4130 channel. It can't. It's way above its pay grade. The mind will never understand this at the soul level, right? So what does it do? I don't understand it. I dismiss it. I get rid of it. So this is a protective strategy. It's like it's better because many things that the twin flame connection asks of you is to surrender. You're asked to surrender to the divine, right? So it's better to be numb than surrender. This is what the ego says. It's better to shut it down. It's better to be numb. I'm safer to numb than to feel. I'm better to analyze this with my mind, keep it in my mind, than to feel. But the cost is the Ace of Cups reversed. Your heart stays closed. This means your power stays closed. This means your feminine energy stays closed. So the basically it's saying, these cards are saying that the connection is real. The confusion that you feel is mental, right? Your soul's not confused. Your mind's confused. Your heart is guarded, and the loop continues. The faith drops, right? Truth isn't spoken, no communication, and the ego shuts down. So the move isn't to try to understand this connection, or to contain this connection. The move now is to move into your embodied fire, right? So maybe, well, this is inner masculine. I'm not going to say Queen of Wands. King of Wands, your inner masculine. The move is to embody your fire, not to be afraid that you'll be overwhelmed. Oh, if I open up this can of beans, right, I'll be just completely overwhelmed by the feelings and the emotions. No, you need to trust yourself that you can contain the passion. You can contain the fire that the twin flame connection ignites in one another, that you can hold it. And then this is like to lead your life, open your heart without begging, speak clearly, Move cleanly. So no cold withdrawal, no obsessive mental pursuit, trying to understand with the mind. This is your authority, your inner authority. So it's not time to analyze the connection. It's to embody who you are within it, within this energy, because you've been activated. If you have a twin flame, you've been activated, right? And this fire is alive in you. So don't be afraid of the fire, right? You can contain it. Okay. So that's what I have for the cards. Is there anything else? So just a reminder of this retreat. It's going to be quite interesting because it's going to have a different flavor because my Neptune and Saturn are in the 9th house now. No more in the 8th house. So this is about igniting your inner masculine. It's about awakening your inner authority for this year. So that's March 20th to the 22nd. And this is about you coming on that throne, right? If you feel called, I'll have more information definitely by next week. By next week, I'll have more information about the retreat, like more details of that. And of course, we go into a unique placement. That theme won't end. A unique placement within your chart. And you go deep with that, and you have an experience. These retreats are about having an experience, taking in information, but of course your experience is number one. Okay, so I will see you in the next video, and take really good care of yourself. You can follow me on Instagram, Telegram, and YouTube, where I post daily, and I'm uploading my videos to Rumble. I'm still kind of sussing out what I'm going to do with Rumble, but I'm uploading there too. Okay, so take good care of yourself, and be sure to like and share and subscribe if you haven't already. Okay, and I have a free newsletter too. Okay, Satnam Aloha, everybody.